What's up guys, it's CG. So this is going to be a thorough review of the Noir 29 by the house of Labo. First I'm going to give you guys a rundown so you have a general idea what the fragrance is about. Then I'm going to share how users rated the scent profile and the performance. My wife and I are going to share our impressions of it, and finally I'm going to share my overall opinion after wearing it. Without further ado, let's get this started. So in as few words as possible, I would say the Noir 29 is definitely a scent that's in a category of its own, and if I were to describe it, I would say it's like a rainy forest. Like being in a forest on a rainy day and smelling the atmosphere of the leaves mixing with the rainwater, also with that comforting, kind of calming, fresh vibe. The notes are not listed on Labo's website. All they say is the Noir 29 is an ode to the noble leaf and the craft that surrounds it. On average, users rated the scent an 8. About 2 out of 3 people would give it an 8 or above, so about a third of people don't really care for the fragrance much, and a third of people would give it a 9 or a 10. I'm in disagreement with the majority here. I would give this one an absolute 10. To me, this is a heart and soul fragrance. I think it's very wearable. I think it's artistically done. It's close to nature, and it's one of my favorite fragrances of all time for sure. For longevity, I got an average rating of a 7.8. The key vote being 8. Almost half of users would give it an 8. I'm going to agree with that. It lasts a decent amount of time, but not as long as I want to, especially given the price tag. So I would give it somewhere between a 7 or an 8, probably a 7.5 on longevity. For sillage, I got an average rating of a 7.3. Key votes being 7 or 8. 70% of voters would give it a 7 or an 8. I'm in agreement here as well. I would give it an 8. I get a lot of compliments while it's there, so I know it projects a decent amount. But I will admit I do go nose blind to this fragrance quite fast. So to summarize it, I think it's an absolute 10. I think it's artistically done. If you like close to nature freshies, this one's definitely for you. The performance could be a little better given the price tag, but I'm not disappointed with it. All right, so to describe the scent profile of the Noir 29, I would say the heart and soul of it for me, and I've spent quite a bit of time thinking about this, is rainwater and leaves. I used to say it smells like wet leaves on a forest floor, but really it doesn't have like a much of an earthy smell. That's how it differs from things like Encre Noir. It doesn't have that vetiver, earthy root smell. It's much more like if you were to take rainwater, put it in a cup, and then put in leaves and mix it all up and get a smell from that, and it really smells like a rainy forest. I've had people compliment me on this fragrance, and I tell them, I say, yeah, it's kind of like a rainy forest or rain and leaves. And they'll say, I don't really know what it is, but I really like it. And then later on in the day, come back around and say, I get what you're saying. I smell the rainwater now. It's one of those things that's just, to me, it's not obvious and front and center. The first thing I got from it was really just kind of like this comforting, natural leaf smell that kind of reminded me of being in a forest while it's raining. And just taking in the atmosphere and smelling that kind of setting. And then I realized it almost captures rainwater and leaves. Now there's other aspects to the scent profile, but to me, that's the heart and soul of it. That's the beauty of Noir 29. That's what you're getting out of it. A really calm, comforting, cozy, in the rain type of vibe. What else characterizes it for me is there's a freshness up top. In other words, it's really fresh. Like if you were to put rainwater and leaves in a cup and smell it, it wouldn't be as fresh as what this is. Like every time I spray it, I'm kind of surprised of just how fresh it is. It has a freshness to the leaves and to what it is it's producing. And it also has a very, very slight sweetness. And I mean very slight. Like it's almost as if you took the whiskey and you took the alcohol out of it and you were left with just the whiskey taste. How it would have like a very slight sweetness to it. That is part of this as well. But these two things, I feel like that freshness up top and that sweetness just complements the composition for what it really is. And what it really is at the end of the day is something that to me is very close to nature. That black tea to me comes across as almost like dead forest leaves, and then it has a rainwater vibe. And it really just reminds me of all these memories of any time I've been in the rain, literally a rainy day kind of fragrance. especially in the rain and nature in a forest. I think of like a cozy cabin in the middle of the woods while it's raining, and the whole thing kind of has a darkness to it, but it's in a beautiful way to me. Almost like as if everything is in black and white. It has a vintage vibe, like a very cozy vintage vibe with like rainwater and forest leaves, and like you're in a cabin and it's very relaxed. Or if I almost go back to any rainy day of all time. Really just a rainy day in a nice car put together in a suit and tie, just feeling that comfort, or sitting on your porch and watching it rain outside. Like that's the emotions that are so heavily evoked by the Noir 29, and nothing does it to the same extent as this one. I mean, to me, it's interesting reviewing this fragrance because it's such a heart and soul fragrance for me. It'd be like me asking you to review your favorite song of all time. It's like you feel like you're reviewing a piece of yourself. Like that's how much I love this fragrance. I think it's one of the best ever. And if I could afford to wear it every day, I absolutely would. I think it's just a close to nature freshie, which is my style and what I like. So if you like Green Irish Tweed, you like Carnal Flower, you like Royal Mayfair, you like things that kind of just take you closer to the earth, closer to the ocean, whatever it is, you like Megamare, or you like Oud Mineral, or anything like that, then you're probably gonna like the Noir 29. It's one of those ones that's just a very close to nature freshie that you smell, and it brings you back to all these memories and this refreshing natural feel.
Le Labo The Noir 29. That's where I get all my language mix, because the titles are so galactic. But I'm okay, whatever. Let's do it. Okay, so I came to this perfume with a little bit of like a prejudice because it's Le Labo, and I've been like not really into that brand. But this is not bad. Like, again, if I don't know you, we're meeting for the first time, you show up smelling like this, it would be more of like you smell clean, and I know that you're showered and clean, but it's not necessarily like masculine. It's more like a interesting fragrance. So this makes me think of a guy with like long hair and like a messy bun and like artistic. Oh, I'm an artist, you know, I'm a sculptor or a painter. That guy. Any age can wear it though, and I think it smells pretty good, so I give it a 6.
So the Noir 29 is definitely, for me, it's my favorite Le Labo. I know some people don't like any Le Labos. I love them as a house because they're a polarizing house. That means they're doing things artistically, and I feel like they hit the nail on the head with the Noir 29. I think it's by far the best Le Labo I've ever tried. One of my top fragrances of all time, and like I said, if I could afford to wear this every day, I absolutely would wear this almost every day. This and Green Irish Tweed hold a special place in my heart. Feel free to comment with y'all's opinions, subscribe for future content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.